Hello, everybody. It's time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about the stories that have everybody talking.
And we're joined today by local blogger Rochelle Fritsch, and Jeff Wagner is back with us. So let's start it off with new General Motors CEO Mary Barra was grilled again today on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers asked questions about a recall of millions of vehicles with defective ignition switches. The faulty switches have led to 13 deaths. But should Barra be the one to take the blame?
Well, sure, because right now, I mean, she's the head of General Motors. This is appalling. Here's what happened, for people who don't know. Okay, they had the keys. You put them in the ignition switch, and a lot of people have lots of keys on the ring, and if it was too heavy, what it would do is it would cause the key to turn off the switch. So you had people that were driving, all of a sudden the car would shut off, you wouldn't be able to steer, the airbag wouldn't work if you hit anything, and GM knew about it and intentionally hid it. It wasn't until some engineer working for the family who had lost their daughter went out and saw that GM had secretly replaced the parts. They changed it but didn't change the part number. This is a huge deal. GM deserves to be sued. Now the problem is, because they went into bankruptcy, some people who might have been injured or lost loved ones might not be able to get full recovery. It's appalling. GM deserves to be called on the carpet.
But Jeff, do you throw her under the bus? I mean, she worked her way up. She just took the position in January. I mean, should she get the brunt of all this?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't think it's throwing her under the bus. She stepped into those shoes. She's been in a vice president position there for over 6 years now. Certainly, this happened back in 2001 where the discovery was made. Certainly, she heard rumblings of it and in her position as a VP. And it's not like she stepped into this blindly. Right. Furthermore, when you take on that CEO position, like it or not, you were the face of that organization. If GM came up with a car that ran off of water, she would accept the applause.
Sure.
Right.
This is
Let's
the
talk
same
about
thing.
how she's done the job here of sitting before Congress, taking these tough questions. From everything I've seen, she's been pretty forthright as well as she can.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the question, as well as she can. I mean, the congressman, now look, anytime you're talking about Congress and TV cameras, you always understand there's grandstanding. So everybody gets that. But they're asking, she's not answering. Her big response is, well, we don't know. Somebody at GM made the decision to change this ignition. They did it years ago. They made the decision to do it because it saved a few cents. They didn't do a recall. They didn't tell anybody. And I think what the congressmen are having trouble with is, how can you as the CEO not know? How can GM not know who was it that decided to change this part? Yeah, I mean, I think. And her response is, well, we're just investigating it now. So maybe this is a little premature, but if you can't tell, I just think this is outrageous. I really do.
Let's keep some gas in the tank. We got 2 more topics to go. Coming up next, we reveal the viewer's choice topic of the day.
And of course, Brian Goddard will be back with another look at your forecast. What's hot? It's our viewer choice topic of the day.
Again, we're joined by Rochelle Fritsch and Jeff Wagner from 620 WTMJ. The viewer's choice topic today, the Army taking some criticism for new grooming rules. Some soldiers say it unfairly targets black women's hair. The rule bans dreadlocks, twists, and braids bigger than 1/4 of an inch. We have...
So you're wondering, what does that really mean?
We have 2 people here who can tell us what that means.
Well, I listen.
Go ahead, Rochelle.
Okay, first of all, I don't know if it's racially motivated. I'm going to say it's based in ignorance. First of all, ethnic hair, kinky hair, curly hair, black people aren't the only ones who have it. So I can't say it's racially motivated, but it is tricky. And unless you know how to handle it, how to care for it, you end up making uninformed decisions, and that's what I think this policy is based on. If women are out there in Afghanistan or Iraq, there's no place for for a flat iron or a curling iron. Well, how else are you going to wear your hair? You can braid it and keep it clean. There were some suggestions for using extensions. Those aren't good for your hair. It's unhealthy. It pulls it out. So Racially based, no. Ignorant, yes.
Well, but this policy has been in place for a long time, and I guess my only comment would be, if you're all about expressing your individuality or whatever, the Army probably isn't the best career for you.
That is true, though. I'm going to jump on you, though, Wagner, but our hair is not an expression of who we are, what we want to be. Our hair is what it is.
But
we have
for males, they've got all sorts of
options.
hairstyles. I mean, you know, there's all sorts of limits. You can't have long hair if you're a guy. I mean, there's all sorts of rules that apply. I mean, they have rules. They have grooming rules. They have uniformity. And now you can say they're stupid, and maybe they are, but that's the case. I mean, Boots go and they shave everybody's hair off. I mean,
I agree with you about the rules, and I agree with you about if you are talking about looking good, maybe the Army is not the place for you if it's something to do with your hair.
Right.
And I also agree with Rochelle when it comes to, it may be a lack of ignorance in regards to how women style their hair, but we do have options. I will say with this choice, you can still wear micro braids, you can still wear extensions, wigs, weaves, whatever you want to do. It just seems like maybe some sensitivity training needs to go on in the Army.
See, I've always wondered, when I watch the football games and you see the football players that have the long dreadlocks and stuff, you know, how tightly does the helmet fit? Because one of the things the Army says is that, you know, one of the concerns are that if people have like the big dreadlocks and stuff, they just don't get a good fit with the helmets. Now, I don't, obviously I don't have a perspective on that one way or the other.
I thought you used to wear locks, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I used to have long hair. I used to have long hair.
I can see it.
I used to have long hair, but not the dreads.
All right, it is now time for our lightning round. A gas station worker in Michigan was fired after leaving an angry note for his manager. He accused his boss of negligence for being an hour late to relieve him, and at one point didn't show up for work. So he posted this note in one of the store's windows, locked the door, left. Should he have been fired? Clearly he didn't know that he was a subordinate.
Well, that's look, I mean,
Don't get too lippy.
The guy was working third shift. He didn't like working third shift. His boss is supposed to relieve him. She, I think it's a she,
yes,
doesn't show up. She's over an hour late, and so he just kind of walks off the job, and he's angry. Look, here's the bottom line of this. You just can't walk off the job and not expect there's going to be consequences.
Right.
And it's so interesting to me because he's doing all these interviews portraying himself as the working guy's hero. I don't know. If I was the next potential employer, I'm not sure I'd want to take a chance on this guy. That's just me.
Well, exactly. And what's getting lost here is that, you know, Jeff, you're totally completely right. You cannot just leave. You can't do that. And that's what's getting lost because it's being covered by this thing going viral now. Right. And that becomes a conversation. You know, he posted a note and it was wrong, and, you know, or wasn't it wrong? But yet the bottom line is you just can't leave if you are not happy.
Well also,
you can.
I'm just trying to imagine. We've got well, that's it. Shannon and Steve. That's exactly.
I can handle it from here, y'all.
We've got Shannon and Steve. Okay, so I mean they're going to do the 4 o'clock. Somebody doesn't show up for the 5 o'clock, so they're just going to walk off.
Tell you what, if Mike Jacobs is not in this chair at 4:58, I'm out of here.
Right.
All right, what's hot? We'll continue online. Find that page at TMJ4.com.